The best 60 minutes of your day and a busy 60 minutes as well, because Wednesday means Rainman, 1-800-990-3776. Caller number 5. We are starting a new contest, which means we have to declare the winner of the last contest. 1-800-990-3776. Caller number 5. Now, we had 2 winners, correct?
We had 2 contestants tied with 9. Terry
we
Waukesha
randomly select
and Travis and West Dallas.
according to phone number, and I would like to pick the player who is closest in the last 2 digits to Edgerrin Cooper. Now, that would be 56, right? Isn't he 56?
He is 56,
Okay,
yes.
Whoever's phone number, the last 2 digits, closest to 56, it's possible it could be a tie, but very unlikely. That person wins the contest, as our 3rd consecutive contest has been determined by a random selection, because we've had a 2-way tie, a 3-way tie, and now a 2-way tie.
So, the winner then of the Cousin Subs for a year for the end of 2024, June to December, is the number closest to Edgerrin.
Last 2 digits.
56.
We will not give either one out. We trust Pebble.
And it's very close because they're both off by 1 number. Travis and West Dallas is the winner.
Well, wait, he can't. They're both off by 1?
Well, they're off by 1 from each other. Travis, his last 2 digits are 98. Terry and Waukesha's last 2 digits are 99.
Holy smokes.
So Edgerrin Cooper is 56, and the winner is Travis in West Dallas.
Well, if they go at it, then we're going to have the same one. By 1. Wow.
By 1, yes.
I got it. Okay. Nicely done. Congratulations, and to the person who didn't win, blame me. That's fine. I can take it. I'm a man. I'm 40. And again, we have the same contest again for the next 6 months. It will go until the end of June. Now, the weird part about this one was we do it on Wednesday, so we didn't have a couple because we had Christmas. That took away. So there was no show, so it allowed those 2 to remain our 2 winners without others getting a chance at the very end. So we have a champion, Cousin Subs for a year, and now we do it again. This would be contest number 1. And again, it's Rainman, 15 questions in 2 minutes. The contest stolen from ESPN. All parties to it are no longer around, but the contest, I should say, lives. Rainman brought to you by Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. And as I've added appropriately, they've been doing it well for over 50 years. That's how they can be as good as they are with the complexities of employee benefits. And then I'll call also Cousin Subs, the person who's our contestant, automatically gets a $25 gift card. And if they end up being the champion, they will get Cousin Subs for a year. The first question is the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. Anything I need to take care of, Pebble? I want to make sure I don't do any disservice. I think I got it all.
You got it all
away.
in,
Yep. Rainman brought to you by Cousin Subs and by Saganiac Planning. And yes, we have a standard so low that even if you suck, you still get the $25 gift card from Cousin Subs. All right. First question, the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. We have a contestant already, Pebble?
We do indeed. It's Mike in Lake Mills.
Mike in Lake Mills, good evening. And your Rainman resume, please.
I got 7 a couple times.
Whoa. Didn't one time of the first-time winner lasted like the whole thing? I don't know if they won. Pebble, do you remember?
They did not win, but they lasted quite a while in the competition.
All right. The first question is the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. You ready to go, Mike?
Yeah. Let's go.
3, 2, 1, go. What number seed has Marquette been in the NCAA tourney the last 2 years?
3.
Incorrect. Best regular season rushing yards in one season by Josh Jacobs. For what team was he on?
The Raiders.
Correct. 4th and 26 Packer playoff game. Who was the opposing coach?
Andy Reid.
Correct. Who threw the pass for the other team on the 4th and 26?
Donovan McNabb.
Correct. Who has more career triples, Babe Ruth or Robin Yount?
Babe Ruth.
Correct. Who has more career triples, Babe Ruth or Pete Rose?
Pete Rose.
Incorrect. What was the score of the Philadelphia Green Bay game back on September 6th?
34-31.
Incorrect. Coach other than Lombardi with the most wins in the first 100 games as head coach of the Packers.
The current coach, Matt LaFleur.
Incorrect. Love, 25 touchdown passes, the same as another quarterback in the playoffs who also had exactly 25.
Goff.
Incorrect. Quarterback who led the NFL with 43 touchdown passes.
In the playoffs or no?
No, regular season. Who led this year?
Burrow.
Correct. How many interceptions this year for Xavier McKinney?
7.
Incorrect. Rushing yards in the NFL this season. Saquon Barkley, number 1. What number was Josh Jacobs?
3.
Incorrect. Only Packer wide receiver in team history with 900-plus yards from scrimmage in both of his first 2 seasons.
Lofton.
Incorrect. A rumor of Jimmy Butler traded to the Bucks. How old is Jimmy Butler?
34.
Incorrect. Final 4 college football teams. The only team that hasn't lost twice.
Ohio State.
Incorrect. So, Pebble, I don't have to have any complaints about I gave him too much time. You know why?
Because he didn't get any of the questions right.
I got 5.
I have 5 as well.
All right. I think Mike's going to feel that he should have done better, but we'll see. What number seed Marquette has been in the NCAA tournament the last 2 years? 2? Number 2 is correct. Best regular season rushing yards in a season, yes, Josh Jacobs, 13.29 this year. He had 16.53 for the Raiders. 4th and 26, yes, the opposing coach Andy Reid. The quarterback who threw it was Donovan McNabb. Who had more career triples? Babe Ruth, 136. Robin Yount, 126. Who had more triples? Babe Ruth or Pete Rose? Babe Ruth, 136. Pete Rose, 135. I think maybe the fields might have been different then, where the ball would just roll all over the place. I can't believe he was that fast.
Deeper alleys.
Yep. The score of the Philadelphia Green Bay game back on the 6th?
Yeah, 34-29.
34-29 is correct. This was kind of a trick, but not really. Coach other than Lombardi with the most wins in the first 100 games as head coach of the Packers.
Curly Lambeau?
Mike Holmgren with 68. Matt LaFleur, 67. This was tough. Maybe Pebble will get it. Love with 25 touchdown passes, the same as another quarterback in the playoffs who had exactly 25.
Jaden Daniels?
Jaden Daniels is the correct answer. Nicely done. Yes, Joe Burrow led with 43. How many interceptions for Xavier McKinney?
8.
8 is correct. Saquon Barkley first in rushing yards in the NFL. What number was Josh Jacobs?
6th.
6th is correct. This is my favorite question. It's manipulated a little bit. The only Packer wide receiver in team history with 900-plus yards from scrimmage in both of his first 2 seasons.
Sterling Sharp?
Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed,
Now, the key there is they made yards from scrimmage because receiving yards wouldn't have been enough. They had to add the rushing yards. Yep. So that tells you what you guess he's been. The rumor of Jimmy Butler traded to the Bucks. How old is Jimmy Butler?
35.
He is 35. And Final 4, Pebble will definitely get this. Final 4 college football teams, the only team that hasn't lost twice.
Notre Dame.
Yes. However, I checked. Their loss to Northern Illinois counts as 3 losses. So they actually have had more. But, yes, only once. Isn't it amazing if Notre Dame won the national title? The team that won the national title
lost by 2 to Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois. All right, Mike in Lake Mills, you're a 5. How many should you have had?
Oh, probably another 2.
Yep, 7 or so. Pebble, did you only missed like 1. Mike, you know what you are by going first. You are the leader, and that means you cannot compete until someone defeats you and gets more than 5. But thanks for playing.
Thank you.
Marquette, number 2 seed in the last 2 years. Yep. Remember this one, the only Packer wide receiver in team history to have 900-plus yards from scrimmage in both of his first 2 seasons, Jaden Reed. Find anybody you want. Look up Don Hudson. Look up James Lofton. Look up Sterling Sharp. Yeah, look up Sterling Sharp. He didn't have 900 yards his first 2 years. It's almost probably because they didn't have much the first year. Jimmy Butler, 35, and yes, remember, 100 games as head coach. Mike Holmgren, 68 and 32. Matt LaFleur, 67 and 33. The Bears game moved him back. And yes, Babe Ruth, more career triples than Pete Rose and Robin Yount. And I didn't get to, and Joe DiMaggio. All right. I mentioned Saganiac Planning. I want to mention one other thing because I didn't put this part in. I always talk about a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service, doing it well for over 50 years. And this, I think, is even more. Small enough to handle your needs with special attention and large enough to have the clout to make it happen. Large enough so that when they're dealing with all the various companies, those companies treat them well because they want to treat Saganiac Planning well. And as a result of them working well with Saganiac Planning, they work well with you. And they're small enough that they can take care of your needs. But you want somebody big enough to have great relationships with the companies that determine all this stuff so that you get the best possible, and that will happen based on their partnership with Saganiac Planning. Saganiac Planning, 262-783, Roger Maris, 6161. And Fisco Auto Body Family Business, owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. On Forest Home in Franklin. I tell you about them so you'll like me, because here's how it works. Those who listen go there, and they're fantastic. Expert workmanship, guaranteed for the life of the vehicle. And eventually the person goes, wait a minute, why am I'm here because of Homer. Man, way to go, Homer. Fisco helps my reputation. I admit it. Not at the top of the list, but it helps. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin, Fisco. So you remember the name. Jason Wilde. And what all was said in Green Bay today, it's Wednesday, everybody's talking. You know what I want to say right now? You know what I want to say, Pebble?
What's that?
I wish LaFleur was as good at game management as he is trying to be sneaky about the health of his quarterback.
And being coy and having gamesmanship.
He's got that part down. He needs to get better at game management.
He also talked to Jordan Love, apparently, too, during his locker room ability today.
Maybe LaFleur needs to spend more time on game management than being coy about the health of his quarterback. Maybe I'll ask Jason that. Maybe not. Jason's next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we do have backups along southbound 41 from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94 got some backups from just east of Barker Road all the way past Calhoun. Back on the brakes from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange to 35th. Westbound side slowing down out of the Marquette to Hawley Road. And then back on the brakes from Elm Grove Road all the way to Calhoun. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 14. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 30. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
James Imaging Systems. Local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizan, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting their first ever tournament with $750 in cash prizes available. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a two-man scramble at Pebble Beach, all from the comforts of indoors on their top-deck, cutting-edge golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament is $120 per pairing and runs through January 31st. Your winter chance to play Pebble Beach awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text CARE to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text CARE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text CARE to 200-300. That's CARE to 200-300. CARE to 200-300.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Everybody should get information about the Green Bay Packers from Jason Wilde every day of the year. All you have to go is WisconsinOnDemand.com, and there's Jason Wilde. You hit that, you'll be smarter, and you will be able to hear everything he says. And there are like a million different ways he's on with all the different shows and podcasts, and I'm probably missing something. Good afternoon, Jason.
Hey, Homer. How are you?
I am awesome. And how are you, Jason?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for asking.
You bet. All right, people talk today. Wednesday's the day. Yeah. What did they say? What jumps out for you?
Well, both Jordan Love and Malik Willis were limited in practice. Do I think that Jordan Love is going to start on Sunday? I absolutely do. But he did say that his elbow is still sore. He does no longer have the numbness in his throwing hand, which is obviously great. But, you know, it's one of those games and one of those matchups where, and look, the Eagles have their own challenges, right? I mean, Jalen Hurts will have gone 21 days between games. So it's not like everything's hunky-dory for them either. But the bottom line is that you'd love to have Jordan Love fully healthy, and he's not going to be 100%. Will he be
He's not?
healthy enough? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
The fact that his elbow is still sore. Now, is he going to be 90%, 85%? I mean, he's not going to be out there, you know, like he was in that Vikings game when he first came back from the knee injury, or when he was hobbling his way to the sideline after he injured his groin in Jacksonville. But yeah, I don't think he'll be, you know, absolutely, positively 100%.
So if he doesn't play well, is it appropriate to then say part of it was the injury or not?
Sure. I mean, I don't know what percentage I would pin it on. And again, let's see how he plays. But look, he's not going to be 100%. Now, most of these guys aren't going to be 100% at this point in the year anyway. But the quarterback, it's a little different. And if it's your throwing arm, it's definitely different, right? If it was his left elbow, I don't know if
I'm going to listen to you. I don't know where do you think he's going to suffer, if in any way, as a result of the injury?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that his accuracy hasn't been all that star-spangled awesome of late to begin with. So now you add that complicating factor in, and who knows? Is it any worse? Does it get any better? Like, I just don't know what to expect from him. But, they're playing it coy as if there's a chance. We don't know, and he was limited, and LaFleur does that limited song.
Yeah, tell LaFleur I'd like him to spend more time on clock management than being coy with the media about the health of his quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, I think he'll be fine.
Yep.
Whether fine is good enough, though, that's another matter. So we'll see. But the fact that both he and Malik Willis, who banged his thumb on somebody's helmet on that 41-yard completion to Malik Heath in the game. I mean, I think that's it's not ideal to have both those guys dealing with issues as they go into the game. And in a game where you're going to have to be, if not perfect, at least on point, you're definitely you would like those guys to both be healthy.
How about what the quarterback said, or do you get, or what the coach said, or what anybody said that you want to mention at the top of your list or near the top?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that LaFleur said, and I don't want to lose, we're focused on the quarterbacks, obviously, but if we're looking at what they've done against the run, they've been really good against the run, and they're about to face Saquon Barkley, and they're about to do it possibly without T.J. Slayton, who, the guys that stuff the run are not hugely popular in terms of getting a lot of attention, but he's a key piece of that. And I think they're seventh against the run in terms of yards per game, but third in yards per play allowed. So they've been good against the run. And Saquon Barkley, obviously, has run for 2,000 yards. So you would certainly like your run defense to be on point, right? And I'm not sure that's going to be the case.
What is his injury?
Sunday.
I just thought he's just not going to practice because he's tired.
No, he injured his ankle in the game. So now LaFleur said that Slayton, he's got enough reps. They could just rest him all week and then have him not play, and then just have him play on Sunday. But again, I don't know what their plan will be as they go through the final the full week of practice. He didn't practice today. Certainly doesn't sound like he's going to practice tomorrow. And if he doesn't practice on Friday, are they still going to play him? Again, sounds like Matt LaFleur is willing to do that. And I'm not saying that this tilts the field completely in the Eagles' direction. And if you were playing a different running back, I don't know if I would spend a portion of my time with you focusing on T.J. Slayton. But the fact of the matter is they're going against Saquon Barkley, who ran for 300 yards or 2,000 yards in 16 games. So, you can't – the idea of not having him, then we're talking about the offense without Christian Watson. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I'm just saying I feel like this team kind of needs everything to fall into place. They need Quay Walker to be healthy enough to play. They need Evan Williams to be healthy enough to play in order to win this game, because I don't think they're as good as the Eagles. So if they don't have those pieces, I think that makes it an even taller order than I already thought it was.
Am I correct in assuming that because Philly's going to stop the run, that the beginning of the game we're going to see some play-action passes more than you would think instead of running the ball in the first possession or first two possessions, and a significant number of those to Tucker Kraft? Or am I just dreaming?
Look, I think they're going to – certainly Tucker Kraft has to be a major piece of what they're trying to do in order for their offense to be productive. I think the biggest thing is whether the Eagles are hell-bent on stopping Josh Jacobs or not, they have to figure out a way to run the ball effectively. And I think they're going to be focused on that. I think they're going to want I think they're going to want to be able to get him rolling, and I want to get him early. One of the parts of this that I'm curious about is whether or not they can take advantage. If the Eagles want to stop Jacobs, are they going to be able to take advantage with their passing game? Because their passing game has been out of sync the last two games. We talked about Love's inaccuracy earlier. You throw in the the combination of that with his injury, how accurate is he going to be? They're missing Watson. I mean, it just feels a little bit like, if the Eagles want to say, if you guys can beat us with your quarterback and without Christian Watson, go ahead, because we're not letting Josh Jacobs dictate this game. And the Eagles' defense has played extremely well this season, and they not only finished number one in the league in total defense, but they were, in top 10 in run defense. They were number one against the pass. They didn't give up very many big plays, so the Packers not only aren't going to be able to throw the ball deep to Christian Watson because he's not there, but even if they had him, the Eagles don't give up a lot of big plays down the field. So there's just a lot of challenges that they're facing, and their best players that they have at their disposal are Josh Jacobs, offensively, Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft. They got to get Jaden Reed going again because he's largely been a non-factor during the second half of the season, even though he led them in receptions. And they're going to have Romeo Doubs back. He was back from being sick for Sunday's game. They need him to kind of rise to the occasion as well. And then I think quietly over the last several weeks, I think Dontavion Wicks has played pretty good football for them. So maybe he can have kind of a breakout game for them as well.
In all the discussion about Jordan Love, I haven't heard Tom Clement's name been brought up. He still is a coach, right?
Yeah.
So it seemed to me if there was one person in the world I would want to talk to about Jordan Love's performance as a quarterback, it would be him. Am I wrong? I know he doesn't say much.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked to him in a while. Whether or not he's able to be, whether he's helping Jordan Love with his accuracy, obviously that's part of his job. But we haven't gotten to ask him why he thinks Love has been less accurate. The last time we talked to him about a month ago was in that stretch of 5 games where Love was playing really well, right? And he hadn't thrown any interceptions. His passer rating was up. It was starting to look statistically a lot like the stretch he went on late last season. So I don't know. I don't know why he's been – I asked Love about his inaccuracy today. Let me call up the quote, his answer to me, because, it's one of those things that stands out. It's basically dropped by about 5% over the last 2 games compared to the previous 5 before that. It's everything. It's footwork, the timing of the play, being on the same page with receivers, the fundamentals as you're throwing the ball, making sure everything's on point. There's a lot of things that play into that, but it comes down to just being locked in on the details. I mean, again,
I would ask you, others have said it, I just don't want, but it does seem that he passes more off the back foot, going back instead of stepping into it. But I don't support my own opinion much because I don't watch it that much, but I've seen people bring it up and then I've watched, and maybe he's always done that. Have you thought of that ever?
I have thought about the fact that there are times when he gets loose with his fundamentals and doesn't step into throws.
Okay.
At the same time, it's sometimes that's based on pressure. Sometimes that's based on when the window opens and maybe he sees something that he throws it at a time where he wasn't planning on throwing. I mean, it's a complicated deal, but the bottom line is that when you step into your throws and you aren't throwing off your back foot or you're not throwing off balance, that's why coaches stress that stuff so much. And certainly that has not been as good as it was at different points during his hot streak. There's no doubt about it.
All right. Is there anything you want to explore between now and the game on Sunday? Or is it, we got it. It's just see how they do. Or is there something left for you?
Well, I mean, there's a few things. I mean, first of all, if we're looking at, how this team matches up with the Eagles, I'm thinking on the defensive side of the ball, you've got to be able to contain a quarterback who is coming off a concussion, so maybe won't run as much, but who is mobile and can run and has done it to you before. We all remember 363 a few years ago. I know you love that stat. A running back who ran for 2,000 yards, and 2 really good wide receivers and a really good tight end. So they got weapons galore. So that's part of it, right? And their secondary, I think, Carrington Valentine's playing really well, and we all know Xavier McKinney's a really good player. But again, are they going to be able to handle all the different challenges that the Eagles present offensively? That's one of the things that I'm focused in on. On the flip side of it, I talked about whether they can get Josh Jacobs going, even if the Eagles. If I'm the Eagles, that's everything starts with stopping him, and so I don't know if they'll have the answers. But the one thing that I'm curious about, and some of the guys talked about it today, is they're a young team. We love to talk about how they don't know what they don't know, but they do have the feather in their cap of last year going to Dallas. People not thinking, or many people anyway, not thinking they could go out and win. And they did. And they can lean on that and say, hey, nobody's given us a chance this week against these guys. Nobody gave us a chance against the Cowboys last year. We can do this. Whether or not that actually comes to fruition, we'll have to wait and see.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, Homer, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. You go to the WisconsinOnDemand.com, you hit Jason Wilde, and you can listen to everything, every show, every podcast, and be smarter, much smarter, about the Green Bay Packers. He's not next, but soon, TVV. How confident is he? I am next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Backups continue on northbound 43 coming out of the Marquette, pretty much from Kilbourne all the way up to Locust. Southbound is backing up right through the Marquette interchange and over the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94 slowing from 16th Street to Hawley Road, back on the brakes from Highway 100 all the way past Calhoun. Looks like we got a broken down vehicle off on the right shoulder right about at Moreland Road, so that's going to be adding to your headaches. On the eastbound side, we got backups coming out of the Barker Road area, and then we've got backups again from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange. 41 southbound, you are backing up from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 14. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 30. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 855-620-1801 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today. 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
The Vegas Raiders fired Antonio Pierce after his first full season as head coach. Did the Raiders get it right?
I get why they made this decision, and now you allow new minority owner Tom Brady to help put his imprint on what the Raiders culture is going to be moving forward. But just zooming out 30,000 feet and taking a look at this job, Smalls, it's got to be on down a list in terms of attractive openings. I don't think it's attractive. You consider the division arguably the best head coaches in any division in all of football. You also consider that the Raiders have posted 14 double-digit loss seasons since 2002. You're going to need a long runway to get this thing fixed. And this is an organization that has shown itself to be impatient. So I don't know that this is going to be an attractive opening.
Something amazing is happening. Technology is working harder, faster, and more reliably. It's delivering results that work. But who makes technology work? CDW. We're a full-service technology solutions provider, advising our clients and designing customized solutions so they can reach their goals and do amazing things. CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at CDW.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
The Discount Liquor Twitter poll question, who or whom do you have the most confidence in? Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, or Jeff Hafley? This is a great question. Why is it a great question? Because I don't know what the answer is going to be. Right now, Goody's killing it, 55%. Matt LaFleur and Jeff Hafley, 18%. And Jordan Love, 9%. Dr. Aaron Holtebeck, I've been there. Went to their Brookfield office, clear to me. He's been doing it a long time. Taking care of your vision. Vision care, whatever your age, whatever your situation. Always wants to be better. Top priority with the latest technologies at the state-of-the-art office. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years, but he still wants to get better. We got to do it better. So he added to his team the addition of Dr. Nausheen Abbas. They're even better than they were good before. Don't mess with your vision. Trust the experts from Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Whatever your age, whatever your situation, they got it covered with someone specially for that area. Learn more about their services at Holtebeck.com. Phil in Cedarburg, you're on 94.5 ESPN. The Homer Hour. You better be good because TVV's coming up.
Hey, I just had a couple questions for you, Homer.
Ready.
That maybe you can ponder. Who's played better this year? Malik, I think his name is Willis.
Malik Willis.
Or Jordan Love. Malik Willis has outplayed Jordan Love. Woo! That's a bold statement.
Hold on. No, it's not. He has incredible quarterback ratings. He's completed almost everything. Statistically, he has played better than Jordan Love. But Jordan Love, to me, has shown an ability to do so much more than Malik Willis can. But statistically, I would say, yes, he has played better. His numbers are off the charts. His quarterback rating might be like 120. Do I think he's better? No. Who do you want? Would you want to start Willis at quarterback in the game against Philly? You clearly would, right? You think he's been better this year?
It's crazy. Here we are at the end of year 2 of Jordan Love, and I still don't know enough about this guy to make it
Sure you do. Yeah, you do.
Rational. I don't.
What do you mean? No, hold on. You know how good he can be when he's really good, right? That 8-game stretch, right? You know how good that's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league, right? When he's really good. Clearly.
Come on.
What do you mean? That stretch of 8 games? What do you mean, come on? He did everything perfectly at like 20 touchdown passes and 1 interception? What, you're going to forget about that?
Top 3.
Yes, he was
in the league.
Last year. Last year during that stretch, he was top 3 in the league. That's right. Yes, he was. He might have been number 2. He might even have been number 1 in the regular season. What? You don't want to add that in?
Say that.
Well, I can say that because it was true. Look back at everything that was said by knowledgeable quarterback people. That's part of his resume. Now you, Phil, clearly don't think he's that good. You think that's a fluke. As if you didn't believe that.
I don't know.
But he's done it.
I don't know what he is yet.
Well, no, that's part of his resume.
8 games?
What?
8 games?
Yes.
8 games. Okay, Homer, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
I want to see him be consistent. I want to see him be accurate. I want to see him be better than his backup. There's so much more I need to see out of this guy. And here's the other
You did, and you don't. But hold on. You have mentioned other parts of his career which are legitimate. You can't throw out that 8 games. One of the keys to believing in Jordan Love is how great is someone when they're great. That's when he was his best, so you know he's capable of doing that. You might say, Phil, it's just 8 games, or Homer, it's just 8 games tonight. But that you can't change how good he was during that stretch.
Well, okay, so Malik, I think his name is Willis.
Yes,
is it Willis or is it Wilson?
No, it's Willis, Willis. That's okay.
All right. So he's had a great 3 games.
Yes.
So is he great, or is that not enough games, Homer? Is Malik Willis great? I would say.
Great for 3 games. Hold on. I would say it's not. Hold on. I would say it's not enough games. And in most of those games, he did nothing. He just handed the ball off. The few times he had to pass, he passed well. But your eyes tell you there are major limitations as to what he can do for you as quarterback. You haven't joined that club.
I don't know that yet. I can't tell. I can't tell that. I see him being a more accurate quarterback than Love. That's what I see. So, Homer, would you give Jordan Love the contract after what you've seen this year?
No, I wouldn't have given it to him then. I said there was no need to do it that early. They just needed to see a little bit more. But the going rate for quarterbacks, is so high. I would have used whatever the contract was and the franchise. I would have wanted to see a couple of years. But it isn't. I mean, Jordan Love hasn't been bad.
He's been average to below average.
I would say he's average to slightly above average.
15 to 20.
All right, hold on. This is a great question because we got to go because I got Tim Van Vooren. That's going to be our next poll question. How has Jordan Love played this season? Average to slightly above average to slightly below average. Those are the 3 choices. You would say slightly below. Phil, you can't pick part of it and the 8 games. That's a part of the belief in Jordan Love is how good he looked when he looked good. Not just how good you look all the time, but what's his best. And he did stuff at his best that Willis hasn't done, and there's no reason to believe he can. TVV next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Homer here. I'm inviting you to join me starting August the 9th as we explore the many shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations, a 10-day journey filled with legendary views, historic expeditions, and unforgettable tales. Explore the historic city of Dublin, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, and stand on the spectacular cliffs of Moher. We'll also journey Ireland's breathtaking countryside and follow the stunning coastal route of the Ring of Kerry. We'll experience the daily life of an Irish family with a dairy farm. Visit and enjoy a taste or 2 or 3 at a historic whiskey distillery, and we'll even stay overnight in a medieval castle. Join me for all of these experiences and so many more. Colette handles all the details of the 10-day excursion, flights, the meals, the hotels, the experiences. Don't worry about it. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss out. Meet the wonderful Colette team and me on Sunday, February the 2nd to find out all the details, or text Homer to ESPN Milwaukee's talk and text line for full details. That's Homer to 800-990-3776.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the Deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in the parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. The three most important letters in sports. Even better than those.
TVV.
It's Fox 6 Sports Director Tim Van Vooren on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Tim Van Vooren, Fox 6 Sports, three-time Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year, Hall of Fame wingman. I can't wait to hear him say, Homer, the Green Bay Packers will beat the Philadelphia Eagles. TVV, is that how you want to start?
Quite a toss, Homer. No, that's not how I want to start. I do think it could happen, though.
Explain could.
Could. I'm going no further than could.
But it's not how you'd bet. I think Lou Holtz said it very well one time about something, and then they said, yeah, but that's not how you'd bet. And I think that's
Homer,
fair.
You're correct.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You have been consistent with this team all year long. They failed to give you enough to change. It seems, and I'd have to go back to the tapes, that you feel exactly as about this team as you did many, many, many weeks ago.
The weight of expectation has proven to be heavy this year on the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, I got to write that down. Say that again.
The weight of expectation has proven to be heavy this year on the Green Bay Packers. They've struggled to find a groove on both sides of the ball. They have not played tight football. They haven't shown ascension from last year. Part of it is the bar was so high because that Dallas game. We all remember it, Homer. You and I have talked about it. They were almost letter perfect in that game. And then they took it into San Francisco and still played well, and you could rationalize the missed field goal away or they would have won. So the bar was high, and it's been hard to reach that bar.
I want to ask you, part of that to me is I believe the Packers are better this year, but I believe the Vikings and the Lions have improved even more, possibly, which has made it even tougher, even though they may have gotten a little better. You want to join my club or not?
I certainly join your club. I didn't think the Vikings would be anywhere near this good, and the Lions obviously have not shown too many weaknesses, even with all their injuries. But had the Packers split with the Vikings, say, okay, you're still basically in this position. You haven't won the division. You haven't played a 17-game schedule with great decisiveness. The Packers are not that team this year, and I think they know it. I think they're going into the playoffs. Last year, there was this sense around here. I'm at Lambeau right now. There was this sense around here. These guys couldn't wait to get to work again. They couldn't wait to get back out on the field. Right now, I don't want to say it's not drudgery, but there's pressure. It's just not the same freewheel and here we go type vibe.
Wow. What do you notice that makes you say that so easily?
Their body of work. They've had very little high-quality play in football games this year. That's not to knock them. They have 11 wins. They're the second youngest team ever to make it into the playoffs. They're probably a year away or 2 years away. They'll get better players next year. They'll get a pass rusher. They'll sign somebody who can actually rush a passer. But that's what they are. They're an inconsistent team that is young, hasn't put it all together, has had errors with the coaching staff. I mean, Matt LaFleur and the coaching staff, that was not a good day on Sunday. If that's Matt Eberflus, that's all you're talking about, Homer.
No, I agree totally. That was they were the Bears. Packers won the game. And LaFleur gave it back to them. And there's no
they were doing hurry up to the line even without the timeout.
Right, and then you have the punt as well. Just all the different things. The Bears tried to give it to them. They tried. They did everything. Go ahead.
Yep, but you have a 15-yard penalty, which that gives them a little more life than you expect, and then. The defense. So it's Matt LaFleur's clock management offensively, and then it's Jeff Hafley's alignment defensively. That's what cost the Packers that football game. So the players have been in on this, the coaches have been in on this, and where would the Packers be if they hadn't signed Brandon McManus? They'd have 9 wins.
Yes. No, they made some good things. Him, and then McKinney, and then you've added Jacobs. They've done some good things. So people want one thing, one person, one thing. Again, they've been sloppy, but who's at the top of the list that you say has to bear the greatest amount of responsibility?
Oh, that's hard. I think it's a collective thing, Homer. I was looking at some offensive stats today from early in the season to later in the season, just the drop-off of impact players. You and I have been singing the praises of Jaden Reed. Well, Jaden Reed...
Not lately. I was wrong.
In a long time.
I was wrong. He can't
in a long time.
Right. You know this. You've been around great. He can't be that good. You can't be that good and disappear. Right? I mean, he still might be okay or pretty good.
Hey, Jordan Love, one of the first 7 games, he's got a 100-yard passer rating. Then he's got 5 in a row. The last 3, not 100 on a passer rating.
And why?
That's inconsistent.
Why?
Well, I mean, that's inconsistent.
My answer to that is, in one of the games, the pass rush was just, they were all over him. And then at times, I don't think people are open again. That's what and granted, he hasn't been great, but nobody's open. And then one game, the pass rush just took over everything. And do you buy either of those, or what's happened?
I do. And one thing I think, and somebody can prove me wrong on this, and I have not heard this. This is purely observational. Okay, I'm going to start with that. This is purely observational. Matt LaFleur's talked about wanting to have a real strong running game. They have a strong running game this year. I think this is the first time Matt LaFleur's ever had someone who can run like this.
And he doesn't know what to do.
That's exactly right. He's tilted the offense to the run game and has not been able to be innovative or balanced with the passing game, which this team needs. And now you don't have Christian Watson, so I agree with you. I don't think guys are open. What dynamic routes have you seen in the last month? You see some passes completed, but what dynamic routes? Guys open on the field, caught in motion so they can go down the field. I don't remember more than a handful.
It's just a weird comment to make, you'll admit, but it's accurate. Like, dude, you wanted a good running back, now you have but do play action. Well, it's almost like the things he likes to do that have worked don't fit with that approach of run the ball, play action, so when they think you're going to run, you do other stuff. I don't know the game well enough, but that does seem to fit. You're saying somewhat.
Again, it's purely observational. It just seems to me they're so intent on establishing that run. And I get the tenet that is in professional football, but because of that, they've gone away a little bit from what they had success with in the past, and I think LaFleur has had success with in his career. And Josh Jacobs has had a terrific season, really a terrific season. But you know what? Saquon Barkley, Homer, has rushed for 700 more yards. 700 more yards. Josh Jacobs has been a touchdown machine, but he's not the game changer that Saquon Barkley is. So, your balance, I understand the identity of it or the intent, but it's not that much of a factor or an impact against opposing teams.
All right, last quick question. Is it by like all these things are true, and I'm on that team, and I go, I don't care. We did it last year. We can do it again this year. We can do to them what we did to Dallas. Is that just made up?
No, Jalen Hurts is going to be rusty. I predict on a cold night, he hasn't really played in a month. I'm guessing Jalen Hurts is going to be rusty. If you can contain Barkley, put the game in Hurts' hands, that's your best chance.
Key to the game is Cooper. He has to have a great game. 4 or 5 tackles for loss. Edgerrin Cooper.
Yeah, I say McKinney or Williams picking off a pass or two, or Cooper picking off a pass or two. Yeah. He's all over the field. They try to go to their running backs out of the backfield, their tight end. Cooper will be in some pass coverage as well. Cooper, McKinney, Williams. Those are my key guys. Somebody has to come. Some or two guys have to come up with some big plays, and then you can win.
Yeah, surprised or really surprised if the Packers win?
I give them. This is, hey, you're in there.
Right.
1 game season. How many times has the Packers rolled into the playoffs and clunked one out in the first round?
Yeah.
Hey, it happens. Definitely can happen.
It just does the team feel like the fans? And to me, losing to the Bears is actually a better thing because it means they might be embarrassed. If they'd won the game, it would have made you think the team did better than it really did. If the Packers win, I claim the number one reason given by the players will be the impact that the Bears' loss had on them before the game.
I would buy that if they hadn't lost Watson. It was one of the quietest locker rooms I've been in a long time. It was pure dejection. Lost the game.
He's that important. He's that important to not only the player as a locker room. Yeah, great point.
He's popular. They lost to the Bears. They've lost 3 of their last 5.
It just makes you feel like they're unlucky.
Dejection. They have to shift out of dejection to move forward here, Homer.
Everybody, don't even listen to any other show other than TVV with the truth of the loss of Christian Watson. Thanks.
See ya. Enjoy the game.
Truth hurts. Travel fans, listen up again. It's August the 9th. Many Shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations and me heading off to an unbelievable journey. Explore the historic city of Dublin. Kiss the famous Blarney Stone. Stand on the cliffs of Moher. Irish Dairy Farm. Historic whiskey distillery. Here's what you do. Visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com. ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com or text Homer to 1-800-990-3776. You know that number. Homer, 800-990-3776. And we've added now ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com. ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com. Man, weekly wager next. I kind of wish TVV hadn't said what he said, but it's the truth. Sad locker room. Next.
Winds are slowing down for sure.